barracks full, we commanding the block. Burgundy and gold, got the city on lock. Hustling plays, they don't need to pretend. DC reppin' strong and we fight to the end. Commanders moving, no breaks, no pause. Hands in the dirt, respecting the call. KDot and Amit dissect the grind. District divided with city in mind. Join the damn squad, don't miss a bit. And you gotta spread the words, or shit is shit.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided, a DC sports podcast, more specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. I'm Amit. That is KDot. This episode was just going to be, hey, Commanders moving forward, a little bit of a season wrap-up. How are we doing? What are we going to do? And we got some big news with one of the expected departures, Joe Whitt Jr. out as defensive coordinator, but Kliff Kingsbury also out as offensive coordinator. So we're out of coordinators, and Bobby Johnson also just got fired, our offensive line coach. So we're going to discuss that as well. So before we begin this episode, which also has our playoff predictions after we talk about the coordinators being out for your Washington Commanders, if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and KDot.
Share this, I don't give a fuck.
And let's get into it. So once again, the Washington Commanders let go of not one, but two coordinators, both of them. Offensive coordinator Kliff Kingsbury and the team agreed to mutually part ways, is the way that's being described. And then Joe Whitt Jr. was fired from his position as defensive coordinator, with, again, other breaking news that Bobby Johnson is out as offensive line coach. It seems like we're going to hear about more people leaving. Based on my read of the situation so far, based on, I guess, the people's read of the situation so far. KDot, over to you, your reaction and thoughts so far on this.
Pretty pissed off. This is the first time that I'm bucking from the regime, I think. I saw like the blip of the Marshawn Lattimore thing as far as expectations go. My thing is, like, the idea that Kliff Kingsbury did enough to get fired this year or over the course of the last 2 years, maybe. Like, you can convince me of that. The same thing with Joe Whitt. I mean, you saw what the defense did this year as far as that goes, too. But if we're looking at the reasons these guys get fired after coming off the NFC Championship game last year, going into this year, if there's a philosophy difference, which is what it seems to be between Kliff Kingsbury, Dan Quinn, and Adam Peters, why the fuck did you hire him in the first place? He didn't do anything differently than what it is he was always going to do. Like, I even give him credit. The run game is better than I expected it to be. Like, at the end of the day, like, I did not necessarily agree philosophically with what it is that Kliff Kingsbury was doing offensively from the get-go. I didn't agree with it when he first got hired. You know, I'm much more of an under-center run the football guy. Even you had that thought process back when they were hiring him, because it was we were coming off the playing complementary football coming off the Ron Rivera era, and Eric Bieniemy doing the exact opposite. So, like, the angle of that being the case, I'm like, why the fuck did you hire him in the first place? And if they hired him in the first place to coddle or to make sure that Jaden Daniels is going to be the most comfortable he's possibly going to be, which is not necessarily something I agree with in the first place, then why the fuck did you do it? Why'd you do it? Like, I just don't get it. Like the end of the day, it's like you just spent 2 years getting this guy in one system, and now I never like seeing a young quarterback having to learn a new system. Like there are certain angles of this that where I'm like, was Kliff Kingsbury willing or able to change things offensively? I'd say for the most part, yeah, I saw some changes in the offense over the course of the last 2 years. Definitely. Now, whether or not that's enough to placate what it is Adam Peters or Dan Quinn want, maybe not. But once again, like I said, we knew what we were getting with Kliff Kingsbury when he first got in here. We knew that as far from a comfortability standpoint, the two guys that made the most sense for Kliff Kingsbury was what? Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. Why? Playing out of shotgun, doing things loosely, doing things on an easier scale from where they went from college into the pros. And look, maybe it worked like gangbusters, and they realized very, very soon that, hey, we've reached our plateau when it comes to Kliff Kingsbury. It just doesn't feel like that's the case here. It didn't feel like it was in the planning to have Kliff Kingsbury here for 1 year and then we were going to let him go anyway, or 2 years and then we were going to let him go anyway. I mean, the only reason I really wanted Kliff Kingsbury as far as offensive coordinator is that he's still getting paid by Arizona. And I thought more than anything, because of Kliff Kingsbury and what he did from a head coaching standpoint, this was supposed to be the reclamation project before he was going to leave. So I was going to have an offensive coordinator develop our quarterback for a few fucking years. But now that's not the case. It'd be one thing if he left to go get a head coaching job. It's another thing to say if you're Adam Peters and Dan Quinn, hey, we failed.
Okay. So at least on Kliff Kingsbury, when the news came out that he was agreeing to mutually part ways with the team, once again, it doesn't sound like he was fired. It just sounds like a mutual, like they had a discussion.
Yeah.
Kliff was adamant that he was going to do things a certain way. It appears that Dan or Adam or both, I don't know, just disagreed. And so it made sense for both parties to move forward in different directions. My initial feeling, KDot, was actually relief, which sounds kind of strange because I really liked what Kliff Kingsbury did his first year. And honestly, I enjoyed watching the offense this second year as well. So I don't necessarily have complaints with what I saw. But when Diana Rossini's report came out and the word sustainability was in there, that did do something for me where I was like, I don't know how sustainable this is, in my opinion. It seems like we want to be more run oriented as more reports come out. And you'll look at our attempts. We're 9th in the NFL in attempts. So where is that coming from, right? We run the ball, But when you break it down by position, we run it more with quarterbacks than anybody else except Buffalo, right? We're second in the NFL in rushing attempts with the quarterback. We are 25th in the NFL with rushing attempts with our running backs. When I look at the moves that occurred this offseason, I was of the belief that this is something maybe we talked about after our last episode, KDot, off the air, where we were going to transform the offense a little bit, be a little more run-oriented. That's why I didn't think Jaden was going to go on this MVP trajectory, and I couldn't really tell what Jaden was going to do. I thought it was going to be less Jaden, more running with running backs, and maybe a bit more with Debo. So I think that this is an effort to protect Jaden from himself while also allowing him to grow and be uncomfortable. The reports are that Jaden is not happy with this, that he does love Kliff Kingsbury, that there is a special connection. At the same time, with Caleb Williams, he learned a new system. It's Ben Johnson. It's going well so far. Drake May, he's learning a new system. It's Josh McDaniels. It's going well so far. This is a very, very important hire. We're going to have to see what happens over here. But my initial feeling was relief. And I think from a sustainability standpoint, I understand why we made this move, KDot.
I don't like the offense. I haven't liked the offense in 2 years. I don't like watching it. I don't like running out of shotgun. I don't like all the pistol. I much prefer running under center. I've been from the get-go going back to you look the Brandon Ayuk shit, you look coming out of college. I've been on record time and time again that I am not for making Jaden Daniels comfortable as much as I am for challenging him. Been on the record for all that. This accomplishes all of those things. Not denying any of those things. It accomplishes all of it. Will they get somebody more in line with what I want offensively? Possibly. Even somebody more in line with what I want defensively? Possibly. Remember, one of my other top picks was Raheem Morris. Damn near looks like that's probably going to happen, right? So, so at the end of the day, does it look like I might get everything that I might want internally for this? Yeah, very much so. That also being said, I put my faith chips in Adam Peters and Dan Quinn, and I don't like the fact that they are fired, that they are parting ways over shit that we called from the fucking beginning. That's my thing. Nothing's fucking different. It's the same shit. So it's like, why? Why would anyone have thought that it was going to be any different than this particular thing, right? As far from a sustainability point when it comes to Jaden Daniels, it was something that we talked about. We saw with Kyler Murray. You still made the choice, right? You still made the choice. So that's what I'm trying to say is my thought is that if you knew, if this was a possibility of something that you knew was going to be possible, why get him in the first fucking place? Go in a different direction and maybe we're going into year 3 with an offensive coordinator that's not going to fucking go because we're not worried about the sustainability. I'm worried about the waste of fucking time and the fact that right now with this particular move, do you know who just lit his seat on fire? Dan Quinn. So now we're going into year 3 with your make or break, son. The pressure that we have just levied on this fucking team and on this fucking offense when I'm looking at it from a standpoint of you were in an NFC championship game last year. This year you got decimated by injuries on a level that no one in the league has had to sustain. You had a quarterback that's going into his second season that it didn't have his full complement of receivers or offensive line or anything for more than 3 games this fucking year. And yet that's enough for us to say throw it the fuck all away. That to me that's the hard part for me to swallow is the idea of the waste of time. It's a waste of time. There's nothing, the parting of waves of Kliff Kingsbury, of anything that we could see, that wouldn't be something that me and you talked about on this motherfucking podcast when he got hired.
Correct.
So look, here's maybe I give them credit for, hey, when you recognize something's going wrong, you just got to change it. Totally understand that too. I just don't see anything that really changed from the moment he got here to what's happening now. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they needed to evolve. They needed to move on to do this, that, and the other. I'm saying philosophically what it is I saw. You saw me even on the All-22, and I'm talking about the jumbo sets and them running the football and how much I liked it. But I've also come on here on the All-22 and told you time and time again, I don't think Kliff wants to do this. I don't think he wants to do this. I think that we're forced to do this because of the injuries of the wide receivers. I think we're forced to do this because of what's happening with the tight end. If you want to give Kliff Kingsbury shit as far as his Ben Sinnott usage, as far as how long it took him to do this, that, and the other with it, I am cool with levying criticisms on Kliff Kingsbury. Remember, even earlier in the season, I was closer to firing Kliff than I was Joe Whitt. Because I did. Part of it being I wanted Jalen to be challenged. I want all these things to happen. I am just squarely looking at Adam Peters and Dan Quinn right now and saying, hey, guys, I judge you whether or not something works or doesn't work. And right now, you were in the NFC Championship year 1. You're coming into year 2. Nothing really changed all that much as far as from a philosophical standpoint with Kliff Kingsbury. Maybe it changed for you guys or you guys evolved at that point. But hiring Kliff just to see Kliff go away at this particular point in time, just to me, feels like just stupid.
So you really feel it was a waste of time?
To a certain degree. I mean, at the end of the day, like, is it the fact that Jaden got experience in an offense or in the NFL, period, going to be a good thing? Yeah, it's not a bad thing, right? Like, he's got experience playing in the league. My thing is going in a year 2 with an offense that really look, you heard like Kurt Warner talks about like Jaden reading the field, and like when I've talked about Jaden reading the field, and we talk about the progress from year 1 to year 2, or the lack thereof progress from year 1 to year 2. I've been thinking that Kliff Kingsbury might not be holding Jaden accountable, might be doing all these things. Once again, I'm not necessarily saying this is the wrong move. I'm just saying my anger is levied at Adam Peters and Dan Quinn for we saw this. I think we easily saw this coming.
Yes, I think you and I did, right? Like as we talked about with the hire, what we were worried would happen, things like that. That being said, I don't think of this as a waste of time. I think that the first season was so valuable, right? Allowing Jaden to be able to see himself succeed in the NFL and go to heights that no other rookie quarterback ever had. It's a nice little ramp to start your NFL career. Now we get into the second year where you are seeing exactly what you were talking about with Kurt Warner, what you see in the All-22, what I presume Mark Bullock also saw in the All-22, which is that receivers are open and Jaden just simply isn't reading the field properly. There's no progression there, right? So, and if you're stagnant, you could argue that's regression. So then if that's happening and you get all the injuries, right? The one in Seattle, or not in Seattle, against Seattle, I think was particularly frustrating for folks. Yes, it wasn't supposed to be for Jaden, but there was an option. He took an option and he dislocated his elbow, and people were furious about that. And so I think that with the new information, they ended up making this decision. But I am looking back, not upset that we hired Kliff Kingsbury. I'm quite thankful for the time we've had with Kliff Kingsbury. And as we evolve, they have to nail this hire. And on the subject of Dan Quinn being on the hot seat, I don't think that's news to anybody, right? If you go 12-5 and then finish this season 5-12, injuries happen in the NFL. And yes, it happened to us at an alarming rate, at a rate no one has seen. So I get that maybe it's an anomaly. I'd have to dig into those numbers, but it is a year-to-year league. And Dan Quinn's seat was going to be hot no matter what after this season, even if he kept the guys, because that's his choice, because Adam Peters said the coaching staff is up to Dan. And I do trust Adam there. I do believe that's the case. And I do believe Adam's in charge of personnel, like player personnel, it looks like. So those are my thoughts there, KDot.
Look, man, we could be grateful for what happened in the NFC Championship run. Everybody won't forget it. I'm hopeful people learned from this, that, and the other. I'm just saying, like, when I'm looking at it, just like what I'm looking at, I didn't see anybody learn a motherfucking thing. Jaden doesn't look better. Mike Sanders still doesn't look better. Nobody looks better. Like, what the fuck? What am I hanging my hat on? So, like, what I saw everybody do from the NFC Championship game is think that they were something that they weren't, and like learned all the wrong lessons.
And so, who does that fall on?
To me, it falls on all of you. So, like, it's just
who's all of you? Like, specify
everyone, fans, team, organization, all that shit. I just think
so you can't fire the fans. So, what are you going to do?
No. What am I going to do?
Right.
Run it back. That's me.
Okay.
So like that, but and I've been on and I've said that. Like in my opinion, it's you choose the plan and you go through it. And I was still very much still a part of the plan. And the like, it ain't my plan to fucking give up or not give up on, right? It ain't the fuck. I ain't paying no goddamn checks. I ain't get paid. But at the end of the day, I threw onto a philosophy in which got us to the NFC Championship game and then had us have the season we had this season. Last week, I said something that you said you agreed with, but I'm not sure if you agree or not. Was I said that I am ready for a vast overreaction to what happened this last season.
Yes.
And this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing everybody freak the fuck out. And what that does, in my opinion, when you don't look long term as far as what everything and where everything's headed towards, it's when you do shit like this is the stuff that, in my opinion, gets you in trouble most of the time.
Well, so I think, okay, so are you viewing this as an overreaction from the organization?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Yeah, because I think firing Kliff overall is an unpopular move amongst fans of the team. At least from what I'm seeing so far, people are really upset about this. Like, people liked the offense, and people go, if you think about complimentary football, like the Joe Whitt one is understandable. Whether you want to run it back or not, it's understandable.
That's why I'm not going to talk about the Joe Whitt thing.
Exactly, and neither am I, because like the defense was so bad last season. Yes, there were injuries, but all the miscommunications, all those breakdowns, everyone's wide ass open. Even the third stringers for Philadelphia are wide ass open. Tanner McKee just misses throws, right? Those are our starters. I mean, like, so I get that one. The complimentary football piece, I think, is a valid argument for Kliff. We are consistently already behind by 1 to 2 scores every first quarter, right? So then what do you expect him to do? I get that part of the argument. And there is something to it because I think the defense was better last year, and we were able to play with leads. We didn't really get to play with leads this season.
The opponents were worse.
And the opponents were worse. Yeah. So totally understood. And I get that side of the argument. I'm not even making but this is the situation, or here's why I feel differently. I'm just stating that part of the argument, and I get it. I'm
not saying I don't. Like, there's no one that needs to argue to me whether or not it's justifiable in a vacuum to fire Kliff Kingsbury to fire Joe Whitt. You're not going to pull my arm too much to get me an offense that I'd rather watch on Sundays compared to not watching on Sundays. Like that's the only diversion or divert from what it is that I wanted. Like, the only reason I was sold on the Kliff Kingsbury thing at all was I just thought we would have some of the longevity with him as far as on the offense coordinator side. And
totally fair.
So like that to me was the only real perk as far as having Kliff Kingsbury and that's gone. So like that was it. That was my only real positive for it, was that you had this dude that was like the quarterback whisperer or whatever, and now he's got this relationship with Jaden. If you were to ask me like what the grade is overall in the season, like I would say that I think the offense works. As much as I don't like it, I think it does work. I see enough wide receivers that are open. I see, as far as from a running back standpoint, the only one that I say has like real talent is Bill, and that's a little on the fence because we're not entirely sure. And if you were able to get what it is they got out of the run game at certain points this season, with the personnel they have and the injuries they have, I'm like, there's something there. Whether or not I like seeing it is a different thing. But they did get production out of it. Like, and I did see guys that were getting open. My thing, as far as the biggest failure, and you alluded to this, is Kliff and Jaden. I think that's the single biggest failure of the Kliff Kingsbury era here in Washington is not pushing Jaden to be more than what he was coming in. And that to me it's a huge thing. And when I come in and do the all 22 every week, and I'm like, who's talking to him? Who's talking to him? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? So like, my anger once again is only levied at the fact that who the fuck couldn't see this coming? Like, and you still made the choice. So like now we're here going into year 3, trying to restart every fucking thing. And now what'd you do? You went and you got Deebo Samuel, who's
he's gone.
Thanks,
now.
bud. He's gone. He's fucking gone. Okay. Like Austin Eckler, you saw it. Everybody knows they're gone. It's like and trust me. And look, do I think that I had criticism as far as the tight ends. I don't think that Kliff Kingsbury has enough in the playbook or in the Rolodex or that. You even defended him and saying that you think he had more plays than I do. I'm not the biggest Kliff Kingsbury offense fan. I'm not. I never have been. I just don't like that. My thing is long term for this team. You make decisions, right? And it's about sticking with the mantra and to not overreact or do something stupid, right? To me, the overreactions of what got us in trouble so far. Oh my God, word of running. Go trade for Marshawn Lattimore. Maybe that's not the move right now. Okay. Then this last offseason, everybody, we're going all in. where everybody's on, this is the new expectation. I just think that I just think that everybody, I think my issue is that I'm seeing people react to their own rose-colored glasses over the course of the last 365 days. And that to me is like,
Sure.
I guess I was somewhere else. And like everybody else, I'm seeing the reaction to stuff that I was like, yo, what are y'all seeing? Why am I not seeing it?
So I am thinking about this just from a long-term standpoint.
Yeah.
And I am wondering, this is purely speculative. I am wondering if the plan was always 2 years. And I know that's going to sound kind of weird, but I wonder if, so year one went great, right? We hold on to Kliff for year two. Assume it goes really well again.
The training wheel coordinator.
Well, but hold on. He probably gets a head coaching job. He probably leaves anyway.
I hope so.
Right? He still might.
He might.
Right? So like maybe the plan was, okay, he's leaving in 2 years. We got the training wheel coordinator. Let's call him that for a moment. Right? And now we're going to get the guy that's going to put Jaden under center a little bit more. Not all the time, but a little bit more.
Either.
And
that's not what
we're going to have a fullback now. Maybe Ben Simmons playing fullback. I have no idea.
It's not what it feels like to me. I get you. Like I'd be all for it if that was the plan, right? If that was the plan. If that was the plan, cool. I don't think that's the plan. And I also know that I feel very different.
With the injuries and stuff, that including to Jaden, that I think then it became, okay, we are worried that if we run our quarterback the second most in the NFL year in and year out, it was high in year 1, 2. He just didn't get hurt. Right? Like, are we going to run into sustainability problems?
No, but are you saying that it was or wasn't the plan to get rid of him in 2 years?
I'm saying it could be.
So what I'm saying is, like, you go with the narrative, like, it is or it isn't, right? Like, the could have been in what that means as far as where we're at right now, I don't think changes anything other than, hey, the variables were always the variables that we always knew about. And if, like, I tell you right now, my feelings around this completely changes if Kliff Kingsbury gets hired as a head coach somewhere and it wasn't really our choice. Because he did that well that he went and he got another job and he did something else. The firing or the mutual parting of ways between him and Kliff Kingsbury, in my opinion, is an acknowledgement of a bit of failure. And that, what it's hard for me to swallow is failure that we all called could happen and did, and I guess in their mind did happen, and actually, in my opinion, exceeded all my expectations. All of my expectations on the things that I thought were going to be issues. It's not even close. So like that. Am I angry at Kliff Kingsbury? No, I'm not. Am I angry necessarily at Adam Peters and Dan Quinn? Not necessarily. It's just you guys have been spending the last 365 days at different points in different weeks freaking the fuck out. My freak out right now is that I think that I got an organization or a franchise that don't believe in their mission statement, and now are trying to figure it out again. And that to me is what I got an issue with.
Okay, so if I could summarize that last bit for the audience here, Kaden, correct me if I'm wrong. We now don't necessarily have an identity. No, as in I'm wrong?
No, we don't have an identity.
Okay. So that is
Bobby. Did you think Bobby Johnson did a good or bad job with the offensive line?
No, that one I was like, oh, like
right?
I like Bobby Johnson. So that one.
I just think the cut and bait, dog. Like I just think the cut and bait. I just don't think they believe in this anymore. I really do think this is an overreaction. I think that they think that it's more than just the injuries, and maybe it is. But my summary or read on the situation is that the injuries are the number one reason with a bullet why things are the way they are. But number two would be the lack of development for Jaden Daniels from year 1 to year 2, and I'm looking at Kliff Kingsbury. So that would be number two. I'm not going to take that away from the situation itself, right? But we saw Kyler Murray.
You knew that this was a possibility. We probably knew this was going to happen when referencing Kyler Murray.
But then I didn't hear nobody say not mum the fucking word after year 1. And that's like the other thing that is like, I was levying these criticisms about Kliff Kingsbury and what's going on with the offense last year. And for the most part, I was like, nobody kind of paid attention to me at all. We did the all 22, and I think motherfuckers just glossed over like anything I said.
100%. Jaden was playing out of his mind. It didn't
matter. It was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, so I'm like, so this is what I'm saying. It's like, it feels as though all the shit that y'all felt on your roller coaster the last 2 years is now reached me. So like, it's now reached me because now I am like, oh, so now there's enough actually happening that we are turning what I thought was bullshit, make-believe nonsense in your head into reality. And this is where we're at now. It's like we've made shit a reality. The reality is we need a new offensive coordinator. There's going to be a new system for our quarterback, which if anyone were to say we're drafting Jaden Daniels, me and you or anybody else, if we would love that to be the case, none of us would say yes, right? That we want the continuity piece to be a big thing there for it. So like, I think that if the idea that the coordinator's getting fired after 2 years, no one's saying that's a good thing. Like, I can't think of anybody that says that that's a ringing endorsement about what's happened.
Sure, I'm not sure I'm calling it a good thing. I do.
It's just not an endorsement. I mean, like, you don't even say that it's a bad thing necessarily. Don't even say it's a terrible.
I don't
thing.
think it is a bad thing actually, but
no, I think
I don't
that you
know.
can evolve.
It's a high risk, like, because I think the offense is working with the quarterback that we have. I get it, but we'll certainly see. Can we play? Go ahead.
No, go. You're good.
Well, I was just going to say that. One, can we play the
100%,
short clip?
I'm with you. I think it's telling as fuck.
Go ahead.
How would you assess the work that Kliff did with the offense?
Yeah, we're going through all the coaches, Kliff, offensively, defensively, on the teams wide, and so that's really what we're digging into, Nikki, to find what's best. How do we do it? Where do we find spaces to improve? And for Kliff, for Joe, for Larry, for all of us, like, that's our main focus. Like, so we're never in this space again, and that's what we want to dig in hard on.
Yeah, so that was a softball question, in my opinion, where it was just like, hey, how do you think Kliff did? And all of a sudden, he opened it up big time. It just pinged on my radar when I was watching that live. I could not believe he said that. And once he did, the news just didn't surprise me today.
Which is why
I was just like, oh, okay.
Which is why, like, when you say that this could have been a plan for 2 years, I'm like, no. Like,
No. So let me clarify.
No, here's the thing. You said that you floated that theory, and I wanted it to be true because I wanted to believe.
Well, because it was going to be either it goes great for 2 years and he's getting hired,
a head job,
or it goes so badly that we were going to cut bait anyway because we had a nice year or two for Jaden, and then we move on and evolve.
No,
that was the idea.
Because here's the thing: is that if that was the case, I could tell you how I know. Because Tavita Pritchard would probably be getting promoted to keep the offensive going, and the fact that he walked, and the thing is, like, in all honesty, good gig.
I see.
I ain't playing, like, but the whole thing with the reason that we saw the preseason games where you had certain guys in the coaching staff start calling the plays and start realizing so that we knew, hey, if this dude does this good at the job that he gets promoted to go somewhere else, you know what we know we're gonna do? We're gonna promote this guy to go do something else. And if the idea was after 2 years, Kliff was gonna walk because he was gonna look for wherever the head coaching position or anything was gonna be, you'd have that. But right now, that's not what's happening. Right now is basically saying, hey, the offense that we chose to run, because we could have picked anybody to be the offense coordinator, and we specifically chose this guy. We don't like it anymore. And like that to me is like, okay, guys.
So because we can't, fair enough. So because we can go and that was me just trying to spin it for the org. But moving forward, right? Now we do have the vacancy.
Oh, moving forward, am I excited? Fuck it! Let's go!
Well,
Let's go shopping!
What I was going to ask you was, now it's very early in the process. There are other coordinators from other teams that are being relieved of their duties right now.
Miami. Make it happen.
I know a lot of people are waiting on that one, but that's not going to happen. What traits do you want from this new offensive coordinator? Like, what philosophy would you like? I know that a lot of people that have listened to us for a long period of time already know the answer to this question, but go ahead and spell it out for anyone that's new as well.
I'm not entirely sure right now. And the reason being is that where Jaden is currently and what needs to happen as far as development and what the offense has been asking him and what needs to be asked of him right now. I love the idea of us doing something out of the Shanahan-Kubiak tree as far as like what happened to him. But I'd also say from what I've seen from Jaden Daniels, do I think he's capable of doing it? Yeah, but I think he's gotten further away from it. I don't know how hard a transition that is. Mm-hmm. And so that's my thing is like to bridge that gap. You spent 2 years training this kid to do this one thing. And even on top of that, like he didn't even have the game experience or whatever. So it's just been him and the VR just learning this shit nonstop. And now conceptually, not a whole lot of guys in the NFL that run what Kliff was running. So I don't expect it to be any sort of continuity as far as that thing goes, right? Is it impossible for Jaden to learn anything? No. Maybe this is just a full year of adversity and he's got to bounce back and everybody's got to bounce back, and that's what I'm hoping for. Look, I want something that's going to be more complimentary as far as from a football standpoint. It's what I enjoy watching. It's what I think philosophically works best in football. So, like, I want the offensive line to be a priority as always, and I want us to control the time of possession, and I want us to take shots. To me, the opinion of, like, if you could run an offense akin to, I want to say LA, the way that they move and the way that they do stuff. Because there's like Kliff didn't use motion as much as I wanted him to either. Like there's tons of stuff I didn't like that he was doing. I could see something akin to like, just imagine you have something like Seattle has, or like LA has, is a little different, where the ball's getting out quick. We got guys who can go and take it and run, but within the confines of that offense, you got the wild card, which is when shit breaks down. You got the kid that can run better than anybody. Right. That to me is what I want. I don't want Jaden's running to be a fundamental part of, hey, we don't have a run game without it, which is, like I told everybody going into year 2, like, that's the point.
Who's going to lead the team in rushing? Talk about it.
So, like, so that was the thing is, like, the people that had levied criticism about the Kliff Kingsbury hire in the beginning, and, like, why, I understood. Me and you both talked about them. It's just.
Yeah. So from a trait standpoint, it seems clear that based on this choice, right, and the long-term outlook for Jaden, for this offense, when I think about the personnel moves made this past offseason, I think it is about running the ball more and promoting complementary football. On the other side, with Joe Whitt's position at defensive coordinator, it is going to be someone that can help generate turnovers. That was the one thing Dan Quinn said he wished could have been different this season, was the turnover margin specifically. And he cited the defense, not the offense there. Adam Peters talked about the offense and holding on to the ball. Dan Quinn was, hey, this defense needs to turn the ball over a hell of a lot more. On the offensive side of things, I think it is running the ball more with those running backs. I think it is maybe using more 2 tight end sets. I think it is making maybe fewer routes on the field and taking advantage of what I think is Jaden Daniels' superpower, his ball placement. I think if he can get people one-on-one and man, because that, if you look at what Seattle's doing right now, they're creating a lot of purposeful man situations for Sam Darnold, right? So can we do something similar? Maybe. That is a simplified version as well. There could be some growing pains, of course, when you go from the college-style offense, like Cam Taylor-Britt said, he wasn't wrong, all the way back in week 3 of Jaden's rookie year, to an NFL pro-style offense, which is what I think we want to do. It's going to take a little bit of time. But I do think that this is best for Jaden's health. I do think this is best for what is married to the identity of this franchise. And I am excited that I believe we are evolving in the right direction. But we'll see. This is a huge hire. And if this doesn't go well, then we might be doing this all over again at the end of year 3, because then Dan Quinn's gone and these coordinators may be gone too again. Right. So this is a huge season coming up. And
That's
then go ahead.
And that's where I go into my concern, is that, like, I'm all for, I think the ship's actually heading in the right direction. I might be alone with that, I guess. I did realize.
I think with this, it is.
Okay.
That confirmed it for me that it's headed in the right direction.
Hold on, what?
I'm saying with this, it confirms that we're headed in the right direction.
No, sorry. Prior to them, the coordinators leaving, I thought we were headed in the right direction.
Oh, and now I do think we're headed in the right direction. Before, I was a bit uncertain because it felt like the personnel didn't marry to what I thought we were going to do.
It did to me.
Okay.
Perfectly. It just, they're hurt. So, like, you're going to keep hearing me say this all off season long, the same way I have all season long. They were hurt. And at the end of the day, like, I was with Von Miller. And I was with Von Miller in the sense of, this to me was shaping up to, I don't think it's a Super Bowl run next year, but I damn well I damn well thought that we were around or plus 500. And I still think this particular team, if healthy, is right around 500. To me, that is not a trajectory in which I have a problem with. What I think is now the issue is, you went 12-5 and we're in an NFC championship game, or whatever the fuck the record was. You're in an NFC championship game. That's the benchmark now. If you're not hitting that benchmark, you fucked. And in my opinion, what that means, or what that does from a continuity standpoint, which to me is the biggest issue, the single biggest issue in the NFL, are people that don't wait for things to take fruit, to reach fruit. You don't take the time to do the things you have to do slowly but surely to build and develop what it is you need to develop. I understand in certain circumstances there are certain franchises that may take too long to do that, but usually you can look at them and they're just being cheap fucks. At the end of the day, when it comes down to it, there's a certain balance of patience you got to have to make something work. And in my opinion, there is nothing to me that said after being in an NFC Championship game the first year and being completely and utterly decimated your second year, it means burn down the house.
Fair enough. Understood. And would be curious to hear what others think. Please comment on this video with, do you agree with what's going on? Do you believe the ship's going in the right direction? Are you with KDot going, well, hold on. You knew what could have been problems with this. And now all of a sudden you see a problem and you're surprised by it. Where are you guys at with these coaching moves? Are there certain candidates you'd already like to see? I know I'm going to take my time in figuring out, and I think the team will too, who they want. One internal name to look out for, I would say, if they're looking at this whole running the ball thing, etc., Anthony Lynn has experience as an OC. He has had nice years as an OC running the ball specifically. He's in that Greg Roman tree. So that's just somebody to look out for internally. It would, I think, strike everyone as underwhelming, but I would actually be kind of excited about it. But we'll see what ends up happening with these. Any final thoughts here, KDot, before we move to the playoff predictions?
I don't think the sky is falling. I don't think anything is gone to absolute shit. I've told you guys where my anger itself is levied at least a little bit, and it'll be gone in a week. But do I think it's possible for us to have smashing success next year going in there? Yes, but they have to nail this offensive coordinator pick. This is it. This is now the most consequential thing for this era, for this team at this point. You think you have the quarterback, and in all honesty, in my opinion, that is up for debate right now. It is literally up for debate. Do I lost faith in the kid? No. But I do think we've seen him succeed in one thing, and now we're going to be asking him to do something else. It looks like he was out of shotgun 93% of the time his rookie season. That's a lot, motherfuckers. That's a lot of shotgun, okay? Do I think he's capable of learning something new? I hope so. I think so. What I saw from year 1 to year 2 didn't make me feel super confident in it, but I don't know what Kliff's telling him. And at the end of the day, this is such a huge fucking move, guys. This to me is your Dan Quinn era. And by proxy of that, it either works or it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, that's your first demerit on Adam Peters. So everybody's got to be watching the fucking shit right now at this point, because I know Josh Harris is a patient man. But as of right now, they are completely putting their hands on everything.
I got two smaller demerits on Adam Peters already, but that's
he's catching smoke from me now. I mean, the Marshall Lattimore thing that you convinced me of.
Three demerits.
The fact that this jackass said that he learned something from the Terry McLaurin thing, I'm like, you stupid motherfucker! You didn't think about that.
I told you it was happening.
I know. I know.
He was gonna get hurt. He got hurt.
I guess that might infer what I do next time. No shit.
And then someone immediately asked about Laramie Tunsil. So are you talking to him? Which was great.
So that's what I'm saying is right now they've been, in my opinion, because I've actually liked the way it is, a bit above reproach. I do think that they've been doing things right. I still think the offense works. I just don't like it. And I don't know how anybody can make a ruling on any of this when we didn't see Jaden shit this year.
One thing that I think is flying under the radar that I'm actually very pleased with, and I think you are too, KDot. I don't know how fans feel about it because whatever, but it is a departure from the old days. Remember, Jaden's mom did tweet that she was really excited for Jaden and Kliff Kingsbury. She said that a day before Jaden's exit interview. And yeah, Jaden's final interview. That exit interview where Jaden also put his support there. And I think in years past, we go, oh, okay, cool. We were going to move on. Now we're not going to because we want to coddle, right? I'm glad they made their own decision. Whether it's right or wrong, I'm glad they made their own decision here.
I'm with you. I'll be the first one to tell you, I think that Jaden Daniels' full potential is not being unlocked. I don't know if he'll ever get there, but we needed a departure from what we've been doing. I did think that Kliff Kingsbury was capable of making those changes. I really did. I thought with enough conversation with him, but if he's that, and I'll tell you this, if he's that fucking stubborn, if that was the conversation, he's that stubborn, fucking go. Whatever, man. Fucking gone. Fuck off. I can't imagine he's that fucking stubborn.
My guess is, though,
maybe.
My guess is yes. No, we'll never know. Understood. And I think early on for a rookie quarterback, it made a lot of sense, especially the one we were targeting.
But
which
see, that's
we
another
now
issue
know
I
we were
got.
targeting for a long time.
The other issue I got is how does this team deal with adversity? Because, like, right now, I thought that based on Jaden Daniels' history and Dan Quinn and the rest of these guys that they've learned from it, what I'm seeing right now, case in point, like right now, like if I had to grade it, I see motherfuckers default.
All right. And with that, let's move over to the playoffs. So there is still football going on, by the way. It's not just the offseason. It's the offseason for us, but there's plenty of really fun football to come over here. Now, KDot has prepared the bracket for us for this year's playoffs. Thank you very much, KDot. The 2025-26 NFL playoff picture over here. As you can see on the AFC side of things, the Broncos are the 1 seed, and congrats again to KDot for calling that. And the Chargers are the other team in the AFC West at the 7 seed that are in. The Chiefs are out. Chargers play the Patriots. Jaguars host the Bills. Steelers host the Texans. That's the AFC side of things. And then in the NFC, the Seattle Seahawks. Man, what a season they've had. They are the 1 seed. And then you can see Chicago's the 2 seed against Green Bay, NFC North rivalry. That's going to be a great game. You got the Eagles hosting the 49ers. Those are 2 heavyweights historically and most recently as well. And then you got the Panthers and Rams to round out this graphic over here at KDOT. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you our wildcard picks. We're going to give you our divisional picks, our championship picks, our Super Bowl pick, and we will discuss where it all went wrong after this. So go ahead, KDOT.
I will preface all this by saying, as much as I feel as though I did a decent job preseason and now looking at where everything kind of laid out, I have never, ever, ever been this up in the air on what's going to happen. I truly, I can look at this and say, I think there are a lot of these teams could go on a run and make something happen that's like crazy. Like I look at shit. All right, fuck it. We'll just make the fucking picks, I guess. Can I start anywhere? Should I start somewhere in particular?
Yeah, start with either conference, but we're doing wild card, then divisional, etc.
Fuck me. Let's start in the NFC.
Okay, NFC wild card. Go ahead.
Green Bay over Chicago. Not confident. San Francisco over Philly. Definitely not confident. LA over Carolina.
Okay, so that is 3 road teams winning.
This is feeling like 2008. If everybody remembers what happened in 2008. I look back at 2008 if you don't remember. All right, am I going divisional or go back over to the AFC? I'm sorry.
Let's go back over to the AFC, and I'll just continuously remind the audience.
Got it. AFC wild card. The one I don't want to pick the most. Patriots over Chargers.
Okay.
The one I am the least sure about in this entire thing. Buffalo over Jacksonville. There's no reason to say that other than Josh Allen. Because you're like, right, Jacksonville's playing fucking
They're playing
good
great.
football.
The vibes are unbelievable. Right?
I think Jacksonville legitimately should probably be playing for the Super Bowl. But I've been riding with Buffalo so long, and I got to believe in the Josh Allen. And when I saw his face last time, I think there's something there. And I think the James Cook of it all, I can't pick it. I'm not picking against him.
Okay.
And then give me another one that I actually think is going to be a really good game is Houston over Pittsburgh.
Okay. So as a reminder to folks of what KDOT's done in the wild card round, we got, well, you know what? I'll do it in order of when they're played.
Okay.
So we've got on 4:30 Saturday Eastern time, the LA Rams beat the Carolina Panthers. Then in the night game, the Green Bay Packers take out the Chicago Bears. And then Sunday, 1 p.m., the Buffalo Bills beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. The San Francisco 49ers round out the NFC wildcard teams all winning over the Philadelphia Eagles. The night game, New England Patriots, they're back. They end up beating the LA Chargers. And then Monday night, the Houston Texans beat the 4-seeded Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. So for me, I'll go through mine pretty quickly over here. Although this one I'll take a minute on. Had Carolina and LA not played, I had Carolina winning outright. But because they have played and because the coaching staff for the Rams is so good, I have the Rams winning this game, but I think it's going to be close. I do think that the Panthers keep it closer than people think. This is not a blowout in my opinion, but I got the Rams winning. Then I've got Green Bay beating Chicago. I am quite confident in that one. I feel good about that one just because of the history and because if Romeo Doubs holds onto the fucking ball, then they beat Chicago with a backup quarterback and Malik Willis, who played well. That's it. The other one, I got Philly beating San Francisco. I think that's the most comfortable one of the lot. I think Philly just runs the ball, runs wild. They got a great defense. That's it. AFC, I've got the Patriots over the Chargers. I've got the Jaguars over the Bills. And then I've got the Texans over the Steelers. Let's go to the divisional round. KDot, go ahead.
This is where my whole bracket just explodes.
Love it.
I guess I'll stick with AFC and then go to AFC. NFC, Seahawks over Packers, Rams over 49ers.
Okay.
And then the AFC, because I can't let it go, Buffalo Bills over the Denver Broncos, Houston Texans over the New England Patriots.
Okay. Repeat your AFC, please.
Bills, Texans.
Mm-hmm. Bills, Texans. Okay. So Buffalo over
Denver.
Thank you.
Houston over New England.
Houston over New England. Okay. In this round, I also have Seattle over Green Bay, and I have in a real tight one, same reasoning with Carolina applies to Philly. I got the Rams over the Eagles in this round. Okay. And then in the AFC, I have, oh gosh, I got to look. What did I say over here? Okay. I got New England over Jacksonville, and I have Houston over whoever else it is. Oh, Houston over Denver. That's what I have. Okay, cool.
Wow.
On to your final or your NFC Championship game.
Conference Championship. Give me the Rams over the Seahawks on the road.
Okay.
And that,
Buffalo, Houston.
Huh? Oh, Buffalo. Buffalo Bills, baby!
Okay. Buffalo over Houston. So over here, I also have the Rams over the Seahawks. And then I have Houston over New England. So I've got Rams, Houston, Super Bowl. KDot's got a Rams, Bills Super Bowl. Go ahead. Who's your winner?
Not dropping them. Said it from the beginning. Got too much money on it. Buffalo! It happens. It finally happens. On the back of James Cook. It happens.
Buffalo. Is he the Super Bowl MVP? Well,
he's your playoff MVP.
Playoff MVP, James Cook. And over here, it's Houston. It's the LA Rams. We've talked about Jaden potentially going back to California, winning in front of his home crowd where he grew up in Inland Empire. CJ Stroud's also from there. I've got the Houston Texans winning the Super Bowl over the LA Rams. That pass rush is ferocious. I think that defense is excellent. And I think people are underrating CJ Stroud's playoff experience when they talk about everybody else being inexperienced. So, yeah, in the 5-5 matchup, I've got the Houston Texans over the LA Rams. Should be a good one. If there was a dark horse team to make a run, KDot, who would it be besides Buffalo?
Buffalo's the dark horse. The fuck you talking about? Like what?
I said besides Buffalo. Because Josh Allen, right? Are they really a dark
horse?
horse?
No one believes in Buffalo but me right now, okay? I don't believe in Buffalo. I'm just sticking with it. I don't have anyone. I think I can legitimately make a case that any team right now outside of the Chicago Bears could win this thing.
Any team outside, you cannot make a case for Carolina, can you?
Never mind. Yeah, Carolina. I refuse.
Which leads to my dark horse.
Well, maybe it's just because, they did finish over what I thought was going to be Tampa Bay. So, they must be good.
Because Carolina is impossible to predict. They are my sleeper team. They also got the, Jennifer, what was it? The Jennifer Lopez plus Ohio State thing. That thing's still alive. They're in the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know. Some things are beyond the numbers, KDot. Carolina, dark horse team. They could knock out the Rams. 4:30. It could all be over. But it should be a really, really fun playoff. So, guys, drop your playoff predictions in there as well, please. Go ahead.
We haven't done a bet of the week, but just to let you know how it is I'm feeling about this one. I don't feel confident about these picks, but this is the parlay that I have on every game going for for the wildcard round. Rams money line, Bears plus 4.5, Bills money line, San Fran plus 7.5, Chargers plus 9.5, Texas money line. That's what I'm rocking with.
Wow. And what is that? What odds did you get?
Plus 846.
Huh. Okay. Man, well, listen, it's going to be an awesome NFL playoffs. You said it feels like 2008.
Do y'all remember 2008?
I honestly, off the top of my head, do not. Was that the Steelers Cardinals Super Bowl?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that was a wild one. The Cardinals beat the Carolina Panthers. I do remember that.
The playoffs that year didn't really make a lot of sense. It was fucking crazy. It was like this is what it feels like to me. It just feels like there's a bit of chaos that's happening around, and this season has been fucking ridiculous. It's been ridiculous. Like the I just don't. The only thing I probably put my hat on that I think is going to happen is absolute fucking chaos, and yeah. I'm loving it.
Oh, I'm super excited for the playoffs. This is the most excited I've been outside of last year, obviously with the Commanders in it. But like, this should be great. It really should be. It feels very wide open.
Yeah, just go back to this. I think it could be wild in no way.
All right, and with that, we go to the shortened intro to the comment mailbag.
I'm gonna make another one at some point. And I don't even like this one anymore.
And now the District Divided comment mailbag.
Alrighty, thank you.
Although they are did you see the rumor that they're going to go new jerseys or the new old jerseys next year?
No, I didn't see that.
That they're going to, so that there's going to be a burgundy alternative the same way that there's the white one for next season. If that's the case, then maybe the comment mailbag doesn't go away because we're going to be some old school looking.
Oh, okay.
We just have a 90s.
I would like
that's going to take too much effort.
Fair enough. Beginning with Tony. Shout out Tony OG.
Tony.
Congratulations to Bobby Wagner getting 2,000 tackles. Absolutely incredible achievement to Bobby Wagner, who played every single game this season. Freaking Iron Man. Also our candidate for Walter Payton Man of the Year. So congratulations to Bobby Wagner on an outstanding season, honestly. Just a bit slow with like a linebacker that can cover in coverage here and there. That's all. It's not his fault.
No doubt. I have no opinion on whether or not he should be back next year anymore.
Interesting. All right. Well, we got plenty of offseason episodes to come, guys, so we will be able to discuss all of it. Here is Jamal Bibishar Bonwi going 7 is a lucky number, and we have it. Let's go get it, AP. Of course, referring to the 7th overall pick. KDot, your reaction?
7th, 5th, 10th. I don't care.
Let's go to Big Hobby over here, who goes, this was Sirianni's way of trying to disrespect us again. In our first matchup, he went for 2, trying to pile on the score. In this game, he played all of his backups, knowing how important the 2 seed is. It was his way of saying the Commanders ain't shit, and we can beat them with our backups. And he also goes on to say in a different comment, Big Hobby does, this win wouldn't have meant shit or hurt Philly if Chicago would have won. Shout out to Detroit also. KDot, your reaction?
Throughout everything that you said about the Eagles and what it is they did as far as their fuck up, there were 2 things. Number one, I thought their offense has not necessarily looked decent recently, and they should probably just get some practice in. Number 2, I can't wait for those goddamn fans to turn on them. I think it is a severe disadvantage for them to be playing at home.
Oh, that's it. That's an awfully interesting take. So, well, here's Coach Lombard, who goes, it's a fair take. Hoping on Philly failing in the playoffs is something for Washington fans to feast on for the next 8 months. San Francisco is not that good, and if Green Bay beats Chicago, Philly gets home games through the divisional. Philly has to play the NFC Championship game in Seattle regardless of how yesterday's game went. So I'm now going to elaborate on why the 2 seed was super important, because last time I did it sort of quickly. You're right, Coach. If Green Bay beats Chicago, which is what I have, you host a divisional round game. My thing is, I wanted you to host that against the Rams, right? Because if that didn't occur and you guys were the 2 seed and you guys got to play Chicago, right, the 3 seed, or San Francisco, 6 seed, whatever it may have been, then I think the Rams knock out Seattle, right? Just like KDot and I had in the divisional round. And guess what you get to do? Host the NFC Championship game yet again. That's what I wanted to block you guys from doing, and I believe that's been blocked. That was the whole point. If you want to beat every single NFC West team on your way to a Super Bowl, hats off to you guys. You guys are an unbelievable team. Congrats on going back-to-back. Fair play. But that's what you have to do now. And before, it could have been that you hosted the LA Rams as it gets colder in the NFC Championship game. I didn't want that. Go ahead, KDot.
No, I think you're 100% right. Look, there's still a case. I still think Philadelphia's the most talented team in the league. And anything, it's just the only thing stopping them is themselves. And I still will. And look, I was wrong last year completely. I'm still going to always put my money on them beating themselves. Fuck off.
And here's Jamal Bibi-Sharbami to round out the comment mailbag. I think the Eagles might have wanted the 3rd seed. The team they fear most is Chicago, and the Packers have the best chance to knock off the Bears. Also, Packers would have been a tougher team than 49ers against the Eagles. I simply could not disagree more with that entire comment, Jamal. And I normally rock with you, but here we just agree to disagree because I think the Eagles would have loved to play the Green Bay Packers right now. That's an excellent matchup for them. The 49ers also a good matchup. But if you asked Eagles fans, would you rather play the Packers or the Niners right now? I think that they'd much rather play the Packers, a team they know that they've dominated in the playoffs. KDot, what do you think?
Do you agree that they should be afraid of the Bears?
No, not at all. I know what happened on Black Friday, but that was then. And it's a totally different ball game in January where there's more pressure, and the Eagles have been there, done that. No, I don't think they. You are with Jamal.
I think the Bears are the worst team in the playoffs, and they've been playing the worst football leading into the playoffs. Caleb. It's just fuckery. It's playoff fuckery. I just think that the bigger the opponent, the crazier the situation, the more I have faith that if they keep it close, he could do something ridiculous at the end. And that's my take on Philly. I just don't. Could Philly just come out and just start lighting the world on fire? They're capable of doing it. They're that fucking talented. I think if they start slow and they stay in some of these games with some of these teams, anything could happen. And like, if I'm looking across the league as far as who's the guy that makes some of the dumb, crazy shit happen, I'd be hard pressed to find anybody more than Caleb that would do the nonsensical thing.
Yeah. Well, I am curious to see what Caleb looks like in the playoffs. The Bears
really
went
think
for
Chicago
it.
might beat Green Bay.
They could. They just, in my opinion,
Yeah, they're not.
they're not as good. They got lucky to win that second game, although Caleb was spectacular once the luck did bounce their way. Right? There's no taking that away. He was spectacular down the
Worst
stretch.
second seed in the history of the NFL.
They are horrible. I was looking at all the numbers and I was just like, the best thing they have is their turnover margin. It's incredible.
It's Caleb. It's Caleb. It's Caleb with the special sauce, bro.
All right. Well, where was it week 18 when they needed to win, right? Like it takes too long to get going. To put that up was, to have that even be open to Philadelphia was nuts. They tried to win that game.
No, I'm not saying that they didn't. I'm just saying that, like, there's a difference between, I think Caleb knows when it's actually on the line and when it's not on the line.
Okay. And that's why the playoffs are so exciting right now. Mm-hmm. Like, this is going to be an absolute blast. And until then, that was the Comment Mailbag. This was the show. This was District Divided, a DC sports podcast, more specifically a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Amit. That is KDot. Thank you guys for listening to this episode where we discussed Kliff Kingsbury firing, a little bit on Joe Whitt, but that was sort of a foregone conclusion for some time. So it was mostly around Kliff, our playoff predictions, and then the Comment Mailbag. So if you enjoyed this episode, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and KDot.
If Drake May and Caleb Williams make it to the conference championships, I want to hear everybody's ranking on quarterbacks. And this shit!
You'll certainly hear mine. Share this shit. We greatly appreciate you guys. This is the substitute for the Friday 2 p.m. episode because KDot and I are both traveling. So enjoy this one, and then we'll be back next Friday, 2 p.m. So until then, take it easy, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.